Hi everyone, in this video I want to talk about probability, specifically permutations versus combinations. So here are the two problems that we'll do. Make sure we don't take ourselves too seriously. Let's think about the fun question. What is the most exciting sports game you've ever watched, either in person or on TV? And let's talk about the math section as a whole first. So probability, I nested under Algebra I. Sometimes you learn it then, sometimes you learn it in Algebra 2. Combinations and permutations are pretty much run-of-the-mill type probability question. Notice the direction say to find the number of possibilities in each scenario, so it's a little bit different. You're not saying what the probability is, like there's a 1 in 2 chance or whatever. It's asking the possibility. So your number is just, it's a single number, not a fraction, a decimal or percent. The $1 million question with permutations and combinations is, does order matter? Okay, so in permutation, and I'll take some notes down here, make this bigger. Permutations is when order matters. Okay, combinations, order does not. Okay, what does that mean? Well, I gave you one of each. One of these is a permutation, one is a combination. And you have to read the words and try to figure out if there is some sort of an ordering to all of these pieces in this problem, or if it's more just like a random sampling of cards in a deck, or just a number of people who could be selected for a contest. Okay, so in both of these situations, we have people running a race. In the first, it's all we care about are gold, silver, and bronze. Okay. In the other problem, the question is, we just want to know how many possibilities of 8 finishers could we have advancing to the final. So if you can tell, a permutation is when the order does matter. Okay, so number 1 is a permutation because the order matters. Okay, the reason why it matters is because somebody's going to finish gold, and then that person is finished, and then there are, there's one less possibility for the next place, which is silver. That second person finished. Then see, there's an ordering. However, number 2, that's a combination because we just are talking about 8 random people pulled out of the 40. Like how many groupings of 8 could, or how many, I guess, lists of 8 could just be pulled from the 40. Okay, a similar problem to that is just how many 5-card hands pulled from a deck of cards. Ordering doesn't matter, it's just how many of those hands. Okay. There is a slightly different formula for each of these. So for permutations, and there's a trick in the calculator you could use, we see this NER formula, and we have this n factorial over n minus r factorial. Combinations, we have NCR, and that is a slightly different formula where you have n factorial over r factorial minus n minus r. Or I'm sorry, times n minus r factorial. Okay. Because you are allowed a calculator, what you can do is push the math button. I'll say in calc. We can push the math. There is an entire listing within the math function here. There's a probability tab. So you would go to prob, which is the rightmost column. And there's an NPR or an NCR possibility. All you do is plug in the N number, then the P, plug in the R number, hit enter, and it tells you the answer. The calculator has these formulas built in. So really what you have to do is just figure out what's the N and what's the R. Now in number 1, there are 30 people running. Imagine they're all coming down the stretch and they're about to finish, right? Person number 1 finishes. Then question is, how many are left for place 2? 29. Then how many are left for place 3? 8. So really the answer is just 30 times 29 times 28. But this formula that can help us, we know this is a permutation, right? Is this NPR. So the N number is always the amount you're drawing from, the total. So 30 P, and then we just care about 3. We don't need like 30P30 would be like how many different possibilities would there be in if you had 30 people picked from 30 people. We only are looking for the 3. So it will be a smaller number, 3. But so you would do 30P3 in the calculator. Okay. So as I do that, I have an older calculator, so I need to put the 30, then click the P, then click the 3. Okay. So that is giving us 24,360 possibilities for groupings of 3 runners from 30. Why? It's because this is n factorial, so 30 factorial means like 30 times 29 times 28 times 27 times 26, all. Factorial is just the product of all that number and everyone down all the way to 1. You're multiplying all those numbers together. Then in the denominator, it'd be 30 minus 3. So all the calculator is doing is 30 factorial over 27 factorial, and that is 24,360. For number 2, we have to be careful that we choose the C option. So this is 40 people, but we need to choose 8. So remember, it's always big then little. In the calculator, what it would be doing is 40 factorial, which is a crazy big number, divided by, and then R, so that's 8 factorial times 40 minus 8 factorial. So that's 40 factorial over 8 factorial times 32 factorial. Okay. But the calculator, like I said, can do all this for us. So I'm going to go 40, push the math button, NCR, and then click 8. So this is a very large number. So 4, 5. So once I put my commas in there, I can tell what it is. That's 76,904,685 possibilities. So as long as you remember which buttons to push, these will be pretty good. Try a couple practice problems. You have to figure out, does order matter? Does it not? What's your N number? What's your R number? And how to use that shortcut in the calculator. I'll let you try these, pause the video, give them a try, and then check the answer. I'll show the answer. All right, so it's a combination for the first one. Answer is only 91. And then it's a permutation because order matters. in the second one, and that's 19,958,400 possibilities. So look at a quote to keep us going. Challenges are what make life interesting. Overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. I totally agree with this. I think this is very good food for thought. And I hope this video gave you some meaning. And if you'd like to keep up with more, feel free to subscribe. Feel free to give me your answer to the fun question in the comments. Have a great day.